Garmin is hitting pit road. All right, it is time to go racing from Road America. Up front will be David Garmin and Kevin Reed. On the second row will be Mark Dantuma and Eric Stoy. Richie West and Jared Heasley have the third row. Jason Rome and Vern Spring have the fourth row. Nicole, that's what she said, Creasel and Matt Bear rounding out the top 10. Gerald Thanos Poole has 11th, Brian Oshinska in 12th. 13th is Brandon Springer. Harley Barletta, the points leader, in 14th. Jeff Hinkle is in 15th. Bill Percy, 16th. Topher Baltimore of Fat Thor Motorsports in 17th. Shortened pace lap here. Does not look like Topher is taken to the grid tonight. As of right now, Topher not on the grid. Imagine he is doing race admin stuff. All right, all the cars are rolling. The Porsche pace car is dropping off as they come up the hill and wait for Barney the flag man to drop the flag and let him go. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away at Road America. Race number 14 of the regular season. Next week is the final race of this regular season. Into the playoffs they go. Down through turn one. Will everybody make it through here clean? So far, so good as they head towards turn two. Oh, Jason Rome is around. I have no idea what happened there. Oh, a little bit of a bump from behind. I believe it was Matt Bear. It was Matt Bear gets collected several. Oh. A lot of cars caught up behind that. Managed to avoid the chaos. And what in the world? Look at Kevin Reed. What a move by Kevin. He manages to hold on. No. Kevin's around. Out of second place, back, he is losing spots like crazy. Garmin in the lead. Brian Oshinska has wrecked. Lap one at a road course and cup cars, always a bit chaotic. Looks like Brian just got too low and actually almost met Kevin. Brian manages to quickly correct. Aaron, I think you're right, and I think the folks that waited in the back to let lap one happen might have had the right decision. Mark Dantuma now up to second, Eric Stoy in third. Richie West fourth, Jared Heasley is fifth, Harley Barletta in sixth, Vernon Spring in seventh, Brandon Springer is in eighth, Matt Bear in ninth, even after that incident between turn 1 and 2. And 10th is Jeff Hinkle, who started in 15th. Also worth noting, Brandon Springer started back in 13th and is up to 8th. Jason Rome got rolling again. He is now in 12th. Thanos up in 11th. And Brian Oshinska has had another incident. Coming down that long back straightaway. Into that hard. Oh, he just misses the turn. Does not get enough brake. Meanwhile, Garmin out front, a 1.1 second lead right now. But Mark Dantuma not letting him get very far away. Eric Stoy wide, really wide coming through there. Richie West manages to sneak by. Eric Stoy now back to 4th, and here comes Heasley up to 5th. And look at this, Harley Barletta started in 14th place, not a road racer. The first time he has ever been on the track was tonight. He is currently in 6th. Fern Spring now in 7th, Matt Bear up to 8th, Jeff Hinkle now up to 9th, Brandon Springer in 10th. Garmin has extended his lead to almost 2 seconds now over Mark Dantuma in 2nd. Richie West in 3rd, and Eric Stoy looks like he is trying to send it after that mistake. He is going to make up the time and spot he lost. And all over the back bumper, Richie West has to give it a little extra brake, and look at this. Harley Barletta side by side with Heasley. Harley in the grass, not letting up. So much for Harley taking it easy and just keeping it out of trouble. He is sending it. A little wiggle off the final turn, but he takes the position. Barletta, the points leader, now up to 5th. That is pretty funny, Aaron. Heasley now back to 6th. Vernon Spring in 7th. Kevin Reed back to 8th. He had dropped completely out of the top 10 and has managed to regain a little bit of ground with Hinkle right behind him in 9th and Brandon Springer in 10th. Bill Percy has had an issue. Down through the final corner, Bill just goes way wide into the sand, keeps his foot in it, and keeps sending it. Great save by Bill. Matt Bear has had an issue again. Obviously, a little bit of damage to the car from when him and Jason got together. Oh! Looks like he just overshot that turn. Went straight off into the wall. Brandon Springer has gone off track. Into turn 2, he just goes really, really wide. A bit of chaos in the early laps here already. Garmin in the lead at a 2-second lead, but look at this. Mark Dantuma has closed the gap. Down to about half of a second on the straightaway. Eric Stoy back up into 3rd, and Harley Barletta now into 4th. Richie West back to 5th. Richie had an off track a moment ago. That probably is when Harley got by. Was that Harley we just saw go off the track? No, that was Heasley. Oh, Richie just goes wide off of turn 2. Harley Barletta takes advantage. Jared Heasley also having an off track. Right behind Richie West. Wow, he sent it in there way, way deep. Seeing a lot of guys send it in way too deep right there at that point on the track. Vern Spring manages to slip by, as does Kevin Reed. Jared Heasley now back to 8th. Richie West now up to 5th, but points leader Harley Barletta up to 4th, and on the back bumper of 3rd place, Eric Stoy. Aaron, I have that same problem at this track. That's why I don't run at this track often. Garmin out front, and Mark Dantuma is hanging with him. It's been very rare we've seen anybody hang with Garmin on a road course. Great to see Mark up there sticking with him. The only other driver I recall hanging with Garmin on these road courses was Kellen Mitchner. Jason Rome has gone off track. Oh, off of turn 1, just gets on the gas a little too quickly. Vern Spring has crashed. he gets on the gas a little too soon. Kevin Reed manages to get by. Everybody gets by cleanly. And Vern gets it going again. Meanwhile, Garmin up front. Mark staying with him. Harley Barletta now in third. Let's see how Harley got past Eric here. Down the long straightaway, Eric drops as they make that left-hand turn. Looked like Eric just went wide and lets Harley by on that one. Now Harley Barletta in third. The points leader is 15 seconds behind Mark Dantuma in second, 15 and a half behind the leader. Can he run him down? He's got plenty of time to do it. Eric Stoy in fourth, starting to lose ground. Richie West in fifth. Kevin Reed in sixth. Jared Heasley in seventh. Matt Bear has worked his way back up to eighth. Hinkle back in ninth, and Brandon Springer in 10th. Brian Oshinska appears to have been on pit road for an extended amount of time. He is coming back out. He is in 16th. Gerald Poole in 11th. Vernon Spring in 12th. Jason Rome is 13th. Bill Percy 14th. And Nicole, that's what she said, Creasel back in 15th. Brian Oshinska is back out on track now. That, Aaron, I don't know the answer to yet. Mark Dantuma staying within about 1 second. Eric Stoy, Harley Barletta has gone off track. What a heartbreak for Harley as he came storming through the field. Oh, just overshoots that left-hander into the tire barrier, loses the hood completely. Significant damage on that car. Jason Rome has gone off track. And it looks like Brandon Springer has also had an issue. Already seeing just a few laps into... Oh, hard hit for Jason Rome. Already seeing quite a few cars with damage. Let's see what happened to Brandon. Yeah, just going a bit wide off the turn. Looks like tire wear and tire heat is starting to take its toll. Eric Stoy also had an off-track incident. And just overshoots that same corner we've seen overshot so many times. Jared Heasley has gone off track again. Coming down through the final turn, trying to get the apex, goes two-wheel driving, then four-wheel driving, and gets it back out on track. Yes, John, I do quite a few, buddy. Garmin out front, Mark Dantuma in second, Topher in the chat. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves is, why isn't Topher out there? Probably because last time Topher was at this track, he might have gotten hit by some guy. Not sure who that dude was, but he should be forced to stop racing and go broadcast or something. Richie West has survived thus far and made his way to third, but Kevin Reed is closing. Kevin Reed in fourth has gone way back in the field from an earlier incident, but is now half a second behind third place Richie West. Harley Barletta, after charging from 14th to 3rd, is now back in 5th place. Still a huge jump from where he started. Matt Bear, after a lap 1 incident, was way back in the field as well. He is now up to 6th. Matt goes a little wide there. Jared Heasley, a couple of different issues, has managed to hold on to 7th. Hinkle, who started dead last in 15th, is now up to 8th. Eric Stoy in 9th and Brandon Springer in 10th. Vernon Spring has had an incident. Oh, pushing too hard through the kink. Hard hit into the wall. Expect to see Vern on pit road this time for a repair. That car is missing the entire front clip. Awesome, John. Well, hate to hear that you won't be getting as much racing in, but it'll be awesome to have you, buddy. Brian Oshinska has crashed. Looks like he just gets a little too much of the rumble strips on the inside. Harley Barletta has had what looks to be a significant series of events. Barletta just overshoots the corner, goes off track, jumps it. It's not a rally. Holy cow, right in front of Matt Bear. Great save by Matt Bear. He had to come to a complete stop, but he manages to save it. Harley Barletta hard into the wall. Let's watch that whole incident. We're going to get in Matt Bear's cockpit view, see from his in-car camera. There is the smoke from Barletta right in front of him. Harley doing a little rally driving, tries to get back on. Matt sees the whole thing play out and manages to avoid it. I think he might have barely tapped him. Great drive by Matt Bear, great save. Brandon Springer has had an incident. Just overshoots the corner. Looks like Eric Stoy had done the same thing right in front of him. Gets the car corrected. Heading toward the long straightaway here. And a great recovery by Brandon Springer. Heasley has an incident. Overshoots the corner and manages to keep it off the tire wall. Harley Barletta slipping by. Matt Bear also has an incident. Just a little wide out of turn 1. Manages to save it though. What a save by Matt Bear. Jeff Hinkle, for the first time tonight, has had an incident. The same turn we have seen time and again. Everybody is missing almost perfectly in Jared Heasley's tire tracks. Just a bit outside, he gets into the tire wall. Minimal damage. Looks like tires are starting to get a little bit slippery, and guys are having trouble with traction here. Garmin's lead now 3 seconds over Mark Dantuma. He has started pulling away. Garmin also starting to find lap traffic on track in front of him. Kevin Reed, 29 in third place, 29 seconds behind second place Mark Dantuma. Richie West in third. And Matt Bear in fourth has caught up to him. What a drive by Matt Bear. Couple of early incidents puts him towards the back of the field. Never slows down, just keeps sending it. Matt Bear jumps up to fourth, Richie West now to fifth. Heasley in sixth, and here comes Barletta. And I thought for a moment Barletta was going to come to pit road. Apparently not. Matt Bear wide off turn one. As Richie West goes back by. A lot of guys going really wide through turn one. Nicole Kriesel back in 15th right now, continuing to fight her way forward and mostly continuing to survive with all the chaos that's going on around her. She's backed off, and that is giving her a bit of an advantage having a clean race. Brandon Springer, holy cow, comes right back on track. Let's see what happened to Brandon. Almost a huge issue out of turn two. Just overshoots, goes wide off into the field. Manages to recover the car. Vernon Spring is on pit road. Managed to recover the car and gets moving, but comes back on track right in front of Thanos. Not a good idea. Bill Percy has also gone off track. Off through turn two, just overshoots. Sometimes in these cup cars, especially if you've driven a lot of road-specific cars, Mark Dantuma just took the lead. Let's see how that happened. Looks like Garmy went off track. Out of turn two, Garmin overshoots. Mark right there within striking distance. A lot of times, a lot of this group has been driving GT3s in preparation for the 24 Hours of Daytona. Not exactly used to the brakes in these cup cars. It is showing here tonight. And Petey, I am so glad you shared that information with us yet again, buddy. Mark Dantuma is out front for the first time tonight. Garmin in second, Reed in third, Matt Bear in fourth, and Richie West in fifth. Heasley in sixth, and still amazed at the comeback we are seeing out of Harley Barletta. Multiple incidents, but and no hood on the car. Heavy damage, but he is currently running in 7th after starting in 14th, which is impressive, but even more so, he had never seen the track before tonight. Jared Heasley goes wide, and Harley Barletta sneaks by into 6th. Garmin and Dantuma fighting it out now on the front stretch. Oh! Looks like we're looking at the replay of the pass here. Garmin gets him coming up the hill. But down into turn one, Jason, oh! The lap car, Jason Rome gets on the brakes before Garmin. Garmin gets on the brakes as hard as possible, tries not to hit him. And the whole group has to check up. Mark PD, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's hilarious. And it looks like Jason Rome has gone off track again. Jason not having a good night. He has had a rough one. Getting on the brakes a little bit too hard. He does a complete 360. And gets the car back out on track. Jeff Hinkle is the first driver on pit road. Jeff had an off-track incident a moment ago. Let's see what happened. Maybe that is why his car is actually really, really clean. He does overshoot the turn there. I'm guessing he is coming in for tires. And for the first time tonight, Nicole, that's what she said. Creasel went off track. Looks like she just overshot the turn as well. A lot of folks, the longer we run, overshooting more turns. Garmin and Mark Dantuma go by 15 laps to go. Just 3 laps shy of halfway. Kevin Reed in third, 24 seconds back. He's actually picked up 4 seconds on the leaders. Part of that due to the incident with Jason Rome with the lap traffic, as Garmin has to battle it out with lap traffic now. And Mark Dantuma all over the back bumper. Kevin Reed in third. Matt Bear on his way up the hill in fourth. Richie West now up to fifth. Harley Barletta in sixth. Garmin trying to extend his lead. Harley Barletta is on pit road for his stop. A little wiggle out of Garmin as he gets on the brakes. Could be seeing Garmin's tires starting to fade. He did say he was a lot better on fresh tires, was starting to struggle on the long run. And look at Mark Dantuma. He is not struggling on the long run. Kevin Reed back in third. Garmin getting ready to come back across the start-finish line. We haven't taken a lap with the driver, so we'll use Garmin's in-car camera. Garmin headed through the final corner. Off the final corner, up the hill, you see the pit. Of course he'd come to pit road right now. The leaders are on pit road. And it sounds like we had a driver, I believe Nicole Creasel went off. Kevin Reed in third, Matt Bear in fourth. Bill Percy also on pit road. Kevin Reed is going to stay out. We'll take a lap with him. Up to the top of the hill, there's Barney up in the flag stand. Start-finish line. Kevin looking for his braking point, out of the throttle, down into turn one. Clipping the apex, but not too much, and not trying to make sure he doesn't go wide. Back downhill into turn number 2. Gets back on the throttle, swinging a little bit wide, get as much momentum as he can. Then the run down the straightaway a little bit downhill. Slowing way down for the left-hander. Making sure he doesn't overshoot that one. You overshoot there, you're likely getting the wall. Uphill left-hand turn. That uphill section right there can really upset the car if you're not careful. Short run into that corner and then a little bit longer downhill run. You have to be careful. We have seen a lot of drivers overshoot this corner tonight. Oh, a little slide out of Kevin Reed. Through the high-speed right-hander onto the long straightaway down toward the kink. Not as high speed in a Cup car as it is in a GT car. Back on the throttle, down to the kink. Down into the final section. Hard right-hand turn. We've seen a lot of drivers overcook it into here tonight. Kevin Reed gets it perfect. Oh, then he goes a little bit off track on the left. Looked like when he got on the throttle, spun the tires a little bit. Easy back up the hill. Kevin Reed currently scored in the lead. And Kevin is going to go to pit road this time. Garmin, however, is back off pit road in second. 5.8 seconds ahead of Mark Dantuma. Jared Heasley, now in third, has not been to pit road yet. I would expect Heasley to pit road this time. Nicole Kriesel has crashed. Again, coming down into that hard right-hand turn. Tried to get on the brakes a little bit earlier, spins the car. Manages to get it back out on track with minimal fuss. Heasley coming out of the final turn. Should see him on pit road. And he is. This will complete what in the world? Nicole Kriesel looked like she got checked up for pit road speed a little bit early. Coming up the hill, obviously having an impact on Jared's pit road time. Mark Dantuma has closed that gap down to 1 second. Kevin Reed in third, now 29 seconds behind Dantuma. Matt Bear in fourth, 7 seconds back from Kevin Reed. Harley Barletta now in fifth, 21 seconds back. Richie West and Eric Stoy both within striking distance of Barletta. Barletta just looking for a good finish here tonight. Wasn't worried about winning. Just maintaining that points lead. Don't forget to check out BRRpoints.com to keep updated on everything, the schedules, the point standings, and everything else. And we saw Eric Stoy go wide right in front of Richie West. Manages to save and hold on to his sixth place position, but that got a little dicey. Garmin has extended his lead. Fresh tires were where he had the advantage. Now just right at 2 seconds. Kevin Reed coming out of the final turn up the hill. 171 feet of elevation change across this track. You climb that hill, come into the front straightaway, spend most of the rest of the lap going downhill except for one little spot. Matt Bear back in fourth. Trying to make up some ground on Reed, but actually seems to be holding steady or losing ground here and there. Barletta back in one piece after his pit stop. Eric Stoy currently in 6th and Richie West in 7th. Let's watch that battle. Oh, that is Eric going a little bit wide. Richie tries to capitalize down on the inside. Nice send by Richie West. Out of the turn, and Richie goes a little bit wide, just an inch or two wide. Down toward the kink. Eric Stoy stays right with him. This is where we have seen Eric make his passes so far tonight. Will he do it here? No. Oh, Richie goes a little too wide, has to get on the brakes, and Eric does come back by. It looks like these two might continue dancing for the rest of the race, as Richie just got past Eric. Eric goes wide right there again. We saw him do that just a lap or two ago. Garmin out front though with Mark Dantuma in 2nd, Kevin Reed in 3rd. Matt Bear is 4th and Harley Barletta in 5th. Mark Dantuma in 2nd place, having a great points night here tonight. He comes into tonight 6th in points, 1 point behind Jason Rome. Jason back in 11th right now. Nine points behind 4th place Jared Heasley. Jared back in 8th, so he'll make up some points on him as well. Mark Dantuma should break into the top 5 in the points here tonight. Eric Stoy trying to run Richie West down yet again. And gets the draft down into turn 1. Can he make something happen here? Not yet. This battle has been back and forth almost as much as the battle between the leaders. Vernon Spring has had an incident. Just overshoots that corner. We've seen Eric overshoot that a couple of times. He takes the toe to pit road. Garmin's lead just 1.8 seconds with 10 laps to go. But here's another interesting fact. Kevin Reed is now only 22 seconds behind the leader. I don't think he can make that entire gap up in the next 10 laps. But any mistake out of the top 2, Kevin Reed could pounce here. Matt Bear in 4th, now 13 seconds behind Kevin Reed. Harley Barletta in 5th, another 22 seconds back from Bear. Richie West in 6th, Eric Stoy in 7th, Heasley in 8th. Brandon Springer in 9th, and Gerald Thanos Poole in 10th. Jeff Hinkle currently being scored a lap down with Bill Percy, Brian Oshinska, and Nicole Kriesel also a couple of laps down. Jason Rome is in the wall. And I have no idea. It looked like he had the car straight off of the turn, but suddenly just loses the back end. Eric Stoy and Richie West's battle has continued to go on and on and on. Here comes Eric, manages to force Richie down to the outside and slips on through. Almost loses it off the final turn. Great save and continues moving forward. This battle for 6th and 7th between Eric Stoy and Richie West, there's a little bit of a gap now. But this battle, one gets ahead and then the other one runs them down, makes a pass, and then they do it all over again. They've been swapping positions off and on for several laps now. Meanwhile, Garmin has opened up a 3-second lead over Dan Tuma. Kevin Reed in 3rd, Matt Bear in 4th, and Harley Barletta in 5th. Eric Stoy is off. Where is Richie West? Richie West slips by. He's going to take 6th again. So Eric Stoy back to 7th, and now Heasley's in this mix. 6th, 7th, and 8th might become the most exciting battle on track. Vern Spring, after his tow to pit road, has come back out on track. Jason Rome is on pit road. Oh, Richie gets a little loose off the turn. Eric closed the gap back down just a little bit. It is now 1 second. Through the final turn, Eric really sending it. Jared sent it a little bit wide that time, manages to keep it on track just barely. Now the drag race up the hill. Who's going to win down to turn 1? Eric has a ton of momentum. Slips back by Richie. Richie back into the draft. Car coming off pit road is Jason Rome. Brian Oshinska not far behind. Jared Heasley also going to have to deal with the lap car of Jason Rome off of turn 1. Eric a little bit wide off turn 2. Richie gets loose and manages to hold on to it. Jared Heasley now slips by into 7th. Can he run down Eric Stoy? Jason Rome slips by. I'm guessing 4 fresh tires on that car. Eric goes a little wide. Jared goes a lot wide. And Richie back into the mix already. The lap car of Jason Rome just ahead. Brian Oshinska also laps down, not far behind. Meanwhile, up front, guess what? Mark Dantuma has closed back in on Garmy. That is Cup Cars at Road America. It is a 4-mile track. Harley Barletta securely in 5th now, unless he makes a mistake. Jared Heasley now to the inside. Jared a little wide. Eric Stoy comes back by. Richie West is not far behind and closing the gap as he has gotten past the lap car of Jason Rome. Eric Stoy down toward the final corner. This battle is, wow. Eric gets a little too much there. of the inside rumble strip, managing to hold on to it though. Heasley right behind in 7th. Richie West in 8th, just 2 seconds back. Trying to close back down on these two. Through the first turn, Eric Stoy still managing to hold him off. Richie West is starting to close the gap just a little bit. Looks like Richie has taken to the and Jason Rome goes wickedly wide off track out of turn 2. Richie West is checking up earlier into the turn to get the advantage, and the run off the turn is definitely helping him here tonight. Mark Dantuma has retaken the lead. Let's see how that one happened. Oh! Garmin gets a little bit of the grass, loses the back end. Dantuma comes around him. Dantuma comes through the sweeping right-hander down toward the kink and opens up a bit of a gap. Let's take a look and see if Garmin took on any damage in that incident. He has lost quite a few seconds. Just barely clips the grass through the sand, but manages to keep his foot in it and keep it off the wall. Garmin has crashed. Looks like Garmin was really in full send mode, trying to reclaim the top spot. Misses his braking point badly. Shoots completely off the turn. Gets back out on track and managing to hold on to second, but now Kevin Reed in 3rd is just 4 seconds back. Meanwhile, Mark Dantuma with 6 laps to go. Mark Dantuma has a 16-second lead. All Mark has to do is run consistent laps from here. 6 laps to go. He can afford to give up 6 seconds a lap. He is about to lap 10th place Gerald Poole and 9th place Brandon Springer. Gerald is actually closing in on Brandon now. Back up here in 6th, 7th, and 8th, Jared Heasley still trying to hold Eric Stoy off, and Richie West still not far behind. Meanwhile, Mark Dantuma and Garmin is on pit road. I did not see any damage to that car. Mark Dantuma now is the lead. Kevin Reed now to 2nd. Garmin in 3rd while he is coming down to his pit stall. Matt Bear 42 seconds behind. Will Garmin be able to get off of pit road in time? Jeff Hinkle now on pit road. Oh, Matt Bear goes wide, really wide, off the final turn. Harley Barletta coming around the lap car of, I believe that is Bill Percy right behind him. Garmin has made it back up off of pit road, I'm guessing 4 fresh tires, and he currently occupies 3rd place. Meanwhile, Mark Dantuma has a 20-second lead over 2nd place Kevin Reed and a 1-minute lead over David Garmin. Jeff Hinkle, Bill Percy, Jeff on his way off pit road. Bill Percy on pit road. Mark Dantuma has managed to lap Gerald Poole and Brandon Springer, leaving 8 cars on the lead lap. Richie West in 8th, Eric Stoy in 2nd, and Jared Heasley in 6th. Jared finally starting to pull away, and he is running down Harley Barletta. Harley has lost his hood again. Eric Stoy wide off that turn, looking to see when. Looks like I have found the incident with Barletta. Coming down to turn 2, just overshoots the corner entry. Gets back out on track, doesn't hit anything. Looking to see if Harley had another incident. It looks like he did. Oh, a little loose off the turn there. Let's go see what happened to Harley to cause him to lose the hood. Overshoots another corner and hard into the tire barrier. Jared Heasley just went off track. Heasley trying to run Barletta down, gets a little too far into the corner, manages to hold on to it. Kevin Reed also had an off track in 2nd. Just a little wide out of turn. Oh, gets a little loose and spins it. And Brandon Springer also having an incident. Looks like Brandon forgot to deploy the peanut butter grippy solution. Manages to stay out of trouble, out of the way, keeps it off the wall, and gets going. Meanwhile, Thanos advances to 9th. But Jared Heasley is running down Harley Barletta. Matt Bear in 4th, Garmy in 3rd. Kevin Reed currently in 2nd with 4 laps to go. But as Mark Dantuma comes up the hill, he'll have 3 laps to go and a 31-second lead. Garmin 18 seconds behind Kevin Reed. Matt Bear another 22 seconds back in 4th. And oh, Heasley is off track. Did he just overshoot the corner there? Eric Stoy manages to get. It looks like Harley Barletta and Jared Heasley both go off. But Eric Stoy picks up 2 positions in the process. Moves Stoy up to 5th. Oh, Richie a little loose out of the kink. David Garman just ran the fastest lap of the race. I'm checking the numbers. I believe he just beat Mark Dantuma's fastest lap by just under 2 full seconds. Dantuma has gone off track. That is the first time we have seen Mark go off track all night long. Just did not get the angle right, got back on the throttle a little early. His lead over Kevin Reed still 23 seconds, even after the off-track incident. Garmin back in 3rd, still 13 seconds behind Kevin Reed. if Kevin Reed makes any mistake, and if Garmin can keep that pace up for a couple more laps, he might actually be able to take second back. Mark Dantuma coming up the hill. The Barney the flagman tells him 2 to go. Or as Petey would say, popsicle sticks in the air. It is 2 to go for the leader. Kevin Reed in second. Garmin headed up the hill in third. Looking to see if Garmy beat his lap time this again. No, he does not. Last time by, though, still 4 seconds faster than Kevin Reed, and with Mark Dantuma's off track, 19 seconds faster than Mark. Gerald Poole currently in 8th, trying to run down Richie West. Won't have enough time, but trying to hold the leader off. Gerald Poole in 8th, the last car on the lead lap. Looks like Mark is playing it a little bit safer through here this time. Nope, you are right, Aaron. Bill Percy is out of the race. Nicole's still in it. Brian's still in it. But attrition is taking its toll here tonight. As Mark Dantuma comes around and is going to get the white flag in just a moment. But his lead over Kevin Reed has shrunk to 13 seconds. Garmin now 10 seconds behind Kevin Reed. Any mistake out of the top 3 during this final lap could change the entire race. Mark Dantuma starts up the hill. White flag is in the air for Mark Dantuma. Based on lap times and the way Mark is driving, I think he is actually playing it a little bit safe here. Kevin Reed gained almost 2 full seconds on him last time by. And look at that, Nicole Kriesel off. Garmy went off track. Garmin, you can tell he is sending that thing for all it is worth. Goes wide on the final corner, never gets out of it. Garmin goes off again. He is pushing that thing to its limit as he comes off the turns. Matt Bear in 4th, Eric Stoy holding on to 5th, Heasley in 6th. Richie West now up to 7th, Gerald Poole in 8th, Brandon Springer in 9th, Jeff Hinkle in 10th. Harley Barletta has drifted. Harley Barletta, I think, might have retired. Harley Barletta currently scored in 13th. And I do believe Harley Barletta has retired as David Garmin is gone to pit road. Mark Dantuma coming down, getting ready to finish his lap with Kevin Reed now in 2nd, Matt Bear to 3rd, Eric Stoy to 4th, and Jared Heasley in 5th. What a turn of events on the last lap. Mark Dantuma comes through the final corner. He's got Jason Rome getting loose right in front of him. Backs out of it for a moment, then jumps to the high side. Down the front straightaway goes Mark Dantuma. First win of the season. He is locked into the playoffs. Kevin Reed comes up the hill. He'll finish in second. Matt Baer just a couple of turns left to finish third. Eric Stoy back in fourth and Jared Heasley in fifth, still battling it out. Can Heasley do anything with him here? Oh, they've got a car stopped at Vern Spring, just outside of the kink. Matt Baer goes wide in the final turn, but it looks like he will be able to hold on to third. Eric Stoy coming down toward the final turn. Oh, Jared goes wide. He really sending it. Manages to hold on to it, keep it off the wall for a fifth place. Eric Stoy is going to come home in fourth. Excuse me. Matt Baer in third, Kevin Reed in second, and Mark Dantuma, first win of the season. Hey, Matt, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah, man, I got a copy.
Hey, a bit of a rough one there tonight, but you still come home in third place. That's got to be a comforting feeling.
Yeah, that was quite terrible there, Doug. I won't sugarcoat it for you. I expect more out of myself in road courses, and that was a piss poor effort right there. Did not run good. Somehow managed to get third. I don't know how that happened, but ended up being a decent points day and have a chance going in next week to Bristol to maybe get a win, maybe sneak into the playoff.
Well, you've definitely had some rough races, but a third place finish definitely going to help in the points, and hopefully you'll get that win next week at Bristol.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Matt Baer comes home in third. Obviously not 100% satisfied, but still a good points night. Hey, Kevin, this is Doug. You got me?
Hey, what's up, Doug? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I am good. Congratulations. That was a bit crazy the last little bit of the race, but you come home in second place.
Yeah, especially after spinning on the first lap.
Yeah.
All the way back to last. It was one of those, oh boy, here we go. So I had to play catch up the whole time, but it was a blast.
It did work out for you. That spin early, obviously problematic. It looked like you were going to struggle and have to fight your way through the field, but it almost like the waters parted for you.
They did in a couple of places, boy. It was still a blast, though, man. I love running on this track. Maybe not so much in the Cup cars, but hey, what the heck.
Well, congratulations. I know that's going to help in the points going into the final regular season race next week. It definitely gets you close to being locked in, and hopefully we'll see you in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm certainly hoping so, but next week is totally different than this week.
That is true, man. Bristol will be difficult.
Bristol's fun. I'll whip that one.
All right, man. Congrats, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
Let's see if we can talk to our winner. Hey, Mark, this is Doug. You got me?
I got you, Doug.
You sound like your throat's a little raw. Were you celebrating just a bit there?
I was screaming a little bit that last lap. I'll have to admit that.
Man, you had one heck of a run, and there's only been one other driver I have seen keep up with Garmin the way you did tonight, and it seemed like on the short runs you'd let him get a couple of seconds ahead, but as soon as the tires started wearing, man, you were charging back and giving him a run for his money. Once you got past him, you just started pulling away, and it was obvious he was pushing and sending it off the track, just couldn't get to you.
Yeah, I tried to save the tires. The other thing I was doing was trying to save fuel because it was pretty close. I actually just ran out now doing the burnout.
So you had one extra lap and a burnout worth.
That's it. Yep.
Well, you get your first win of the season, and you obviously lock yourself into the playoffs going into Bristol next week. That's going to be a sigh of relief.
Definitely takes the pressure off, and I can just enjoy the track next week.
Well, hopefully you'll be enjoying that one from Victory Circle as well. But, man, congratulations. That was one heck of a race.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate everything you guys do up in the booth there.
I appreciate you, buddy. Mark Dantuma gets his first win of the season. Congratulations. What a night. What a wild, wild race. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to come back tomorrow. Jones BS Racing, 34 Legends, and the Wayland Tour Mods. Always exciting racing there. And, of course, Tuesday night, XCal is back for race number 2 of the season. And Wednesday, we have the Outlaw Cup Series, which turned out to be an awesome, awesome race last week, followed by the Nowski Nation Retro Trucks. And Thursday night, we have the season opener for the American All-Star Dirt Series. You're not going to want to miss any of the broadcasts this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and have a great night.